I was above begging. I had pulled off so many hustles over the years that even when I was at my lowest, I still had an angle to work. Pickpocketing at Union Station, or using my well-honed skills as a department store thief. I did what I could to clean myself up every day before heading to Macy's on Michigan Avenue or another upscale department store to lift jewelry and perfume and pickpocket the rich people shopping on the Gold Coast. I had lost everything, but not my skills as a thief. I knew how important it was to blend in downtown, so I tried to keep up my appearance, even though I was living on the street. I stole hair dye, soap, and makeup from Walgreens. Sometimes the guy who worked in the dollar store would just give me a box of hair dye. I would wash up and dye my hair in the sink at McDonald's, or if I was kicked out, I'd use the ladies' room in the taco joint up the street. Blow-dry it with the hand dryer on the wall, then draw perfect eyebrows and add eyeliner, mascara, blush, and lipstick. Whenever I woke up, I first checked for my false teeth. I had always tried to take good care of my teeth no matter where I was, even if I had to use a running fire hydrant, but I would grind my teeth when I was high, and over time the pressure had loosened 3 of my teeth right in front. Years before, while I was in the joint, the prison dentist pulled them, and I had a partial made that snapped in. But I broke the partial after a while on the street, and it no longer fit correctly, so it would come loose. I could get a little crazy worrying about what I would do if I ever lost it, having no money or a dentist I could go to. Losing those teeth put a serious dent in my self-esteem, and it affected my confidence and my ability to hustle. There wasn't any makeup I could steal that would cover a gaping hole in my front teeth. For a time, I actually used crazy glue to attach what was left of the partial to the roof of my mouth. It would stay put for a few hours, and then I'd have to redo it. But when you go to jail, you're not allowed to have crazy glue. On one of my trips back in, I discovered Polygrip at the commissary. From that day on, I kept a tube of Polygrip tucked in my bra so I could glue my partial back into place if it fell out. I kept just about everything I owned tucked inside my bra, knowing that since I had so many felony warrants out on me, I could be picked up and sent to prison at any time. I considered it an occupational hazard, but I wanted to be prepared. I slit open the lining of my bra to hide the bare necessities inside. On one side, I stashed a Xanax and a dime bag of heroin to get me through intake and the dope sickness that would start there. On the other side, I kept a small piece of eyebrow pencil because I would rather die than be caught without my eyebrows on, and a small wad of cellophane with Polygrip squeezed inside so I could get through the first few days until I could buy a tube at the commissary. Using my bra as a purse was an old trick I had learned from Grandma years ago. I would laugh and cry whenever I thought about her now. I hadn't seen her in more than 10 years. And was in prison when she passed away, so I couldn't even go to her funeral. For so many years, I justified staying away from my family because I loved my life and I loved Blue. I knew Sean was in good hands, and my other kids were too. Now, I had sunk so low that if I didn't stay high enough to be oblivious, I couldn't handle the reality of what my life had become. I didn't care if I died, and I came close to ODing all the time. I had done so much damage and caused so much heartache. I truly believed there was nothing I could do to change anything. On this sunny morning, I sat up in the alley, looked around to make sure no one was watching, and snorted the dope I had left from the night before. I got up and started my day, walking past the dumpsters and open garbage piled behind the buildings. I passed many spots, cubby holes, back doorways, and covered back entrances where Carlos and I went to get high and spend the night. Sometimes we got lucky and found a way to break into a building at night and get away from the rats and out of the winter cold. I walked out of the alley to the sidewalk, made a stop at Walgreens to lift some supplies, and was heading for the McDonald's to use the restroom when a cop who knew me pulled his car over. He rolled down his window and said, "Hey,